Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new, hi, I'm Tanealia. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm so grateful that you decided to take some time out of your busy day to join me and play with some makeup. I have a very exciting video for you today. In today's video, we're going to be talking about Nomad Cosmetics and their new eyeshadow palette, the Pacific Island Paradise palette. And this is what it looks like. The sea turtles on the front. Very beautiful, colorful, tropical theme. If you have been with me for any period of time, then you know I love Nomad Cosmetics. Except for maybe a couple of palettes. I have bought every single palette that they have launched since I started getting into the brand. The first palette was the Tokyo Harajuku palette that I purchased from them, and I've loved every palette, some more than others. But this is what the color story looks like for this palette. I will be dropping in some swatches and some close-ups, but first I want to talk about the organizations that Nomad has collaborated with for this palette. One of the things that I love about Nomad is how conscious they are of the environment. One of the things that they have decided to do is that all their packaging, everything from the outer carton to the actual palette itself, the packaging, everything is plastic free. Everything is biodegradable, which I absolutely love. And with this particular palette, they have collaborated with two charities. This little pamphlet was included with the palette, and it explains the two charities that they have collaborated with for this particular palette. The first one supports sea turtles. It is Te Mana o Te Moana. It is the Sea Turtle Care Center in French Polynesia, and this is where they take sea turtles that are sick, they need a little bit more help. More than 580 turtles have been nursed back to health, and about half of those have been let back into the wild. And they've also adopted baby corals from the coral gardeners. The nursery that they've adopted will grow 250 to 300 new baby corals. They will eventually be replanted in the reef and help restore the beautiful Pacific Ocean. So amazing causes, amazing organizations. I just love what Nomad is trying to do for the world, for our environment. Just as a whole, they are an amazing brand. A little more about the palette. There are 18 shades. When I did the swatches, I will say that some of the shades were a little bit patchy when I did swatches. I had to kind of go over them a couple of times to really get that intense pigment. I love the variety of shades in here, the variety of tones. You have deeper shades, as I mentioned. You have more pastel, brighter shades. Like, this is a really perfect palette for the spring, for the summer. The shimmers, the metallics. I think there are some foils in here too. I definitely noticed that there were some multi-chromes. It's just a really beautiful, thoughtful, well laid out palette. I love all of the embossings and the shadows. The ones on the bottom, some of them have sea turtles embossed into them. Just an overall beautiful palette. So now that you've heard all about the palette and the organizations that Nomad has collaborated with, let's jump into putting together this look. If you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. It really does help with the channel. If you're new to the channel, you have not already subscribed, I would love it if you would consider joining my family and hitting subscribe, and make sure you tap the notification bell so you get notified of any videos coming up in the future. And you can also follow me on my other socials. I am on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All the links will be listed down below. I will be posting more looks with the palettes that I use, some IG Reels, some TikTok videos playing around with these palettes, as well as swatches and close-ups. So definitely check out my other social medias. And let's jump into putting together this look. Let me go ahead and give you my blush and highlighter details. I've still been testing out the Tresluce Ready to Bounce Cream blushes. This one is Vacation. This is like that hot pink fuchsia, and I really like this one. I blended it over my foundation instead of my powder, and then put a little bit of powder over it. I find this particular shade blends so much better than the Girls Night, which is that bright red one. I don't know why, but this one just blends so much better, and you can see it looks so pretty. This particular shade in general, I'm really loving. You'll see me talk about it more probably in a favorites, and I think it's also going to be coming up in a speed reviews video. But yeah, this particular one I've really been enjoying. And my highlighter is just the one from AOA Studio. This is the Velour Cream Highlighter in Lucky. This is the one that's currently in my project Paintings. And as you can see, I am making quite the dent in this one, but it's a really pretty cream highlighter. Alright, now for this eyeshadow look. I've already primed my eyelids using the Party Proof Eye Primer from Colourpop. The shade is in Caramel. Alright, so I pretty much have an idea already in mind that I'm wanting to do. We're going to start with, I think it's Wahine which is this beautiful deep blue right here, and we're going to take that into Seashell, which is this purple. Just kind of blend the two together, and then I'm going to throw in a shimmer. That's pretty much going to be it. I will definitely be doing a 2 looks and an IG video with this, so be looking out for those. Alright, that is pretty. There's a decent amount of pigment in that. Just kind of packing it on, and then I'm going to blend it into the crease. So the idea is to have this video filmed, edited, and uploaded in the same day. Today is Tuesday the 12th, April 12th. I already have something scheduled already just in case, but I really would like to get this video edited and uploaded, so hopefully you're seeing it the same day that I'm filming it. Alright, that kind of slightly patchy, so we're just going to pack a little bit more on and blend. My camera came. It's actually sitting at my parents' house right now, so after I finish filming, editing, getting everything done for this video, I'm going to run over there and I'm going to grab it. I probably won't be actually filming with it until next week. I definitely want to play around with the settings and everything first to make sure that I actually know how to use it before I film with it. I'm not really sure like what to expect. I've always only ever filmed videos on my phone, so this is going to be pretty exciting. Just a little bit more to this side. I'm liking the way this side is looking. My husband did a lot of research for me. He said the camera that I got, which is a Panasonic. I don't remember the exact model. I'll show it to you guys when I get it. But he said that from the description and all the research he's done, it looks like it's going to be the one that should for me. One of the most important factors that I told him I needed to be able to do is autofocus when I hold something up to the camera. Well, I just did my hand like that. Because you know, now when I hold something up to my phone, because my phone doesn't autofocus, it's just kind of blurry. Definitely needs to be able to autofocus so I can start holding things up to the camera. That's a definite. I like it to be able to blur my background a little bit, but I told him that that's not a deal breaker. If it can't, that's fine. But the most important thing is that I can actually autofocus and hold things up to the camera. But I'm excited about this next step in my channel. And there's a lot of exciting things coming up in the future. Taking a little bit of Seashell, which is that beautiful purple, and I'm going to bet towards the inner corner. This is the Blend Bunny 1. I've pretty much been using my Blend Bunny brushes with every look that I do on camera. Just taking it and blending it right directly into the blue. Right there in that crease area. I don't know if you can see that, but the blue like right in here, it's kind of patchy. I'm finding I'm having a difficult time blending this blue. I was watching one of the YouTubers that I follow, Amanda from Makeup Just for Fun. She was talking about how she was having a difficult time blending some of the shades together, like they weren't blending like some of the previous palettes. And I'm definitely seeing the same issue that she was, especially with this blue. The blues in the Winter Lodge palette blended so much better than these are. They're so much more pigmented. Let me see if I can build it up just a little bit more right on this outer part. Just feel like it looks so patchy right here. I don't know why it's doing that. Like just like right in here. And I know that it's not my eye, and I know it's not user error, because I've used Nomad eyeshadows before and not had that problem. So I don't know, maybe it's just a formula in this one. It did say that these shadows are formulated with coconut oil, like it's supposed to be conditioning and stuff. Maybe the coconut oil is what's changing the formula. I don't know, but I am definitely noticing a difference in the pigment. Do you see that? Like I packed it on, blended it out, and immediately I'm noticing patchiness in here. I don't know what's happening. I don't know. All right, so anyway, moving along. Do I want to go any other color on my lid? I'm just going to go back into Seashell and lay a little bit of that on my lower lash line. I'm trying to decide what shimmer do I want. Do I want Whale, which is this one right here. That's what that one looks like. I think that's the one I'm going to go with. It's just a really pretty kind of a periwinkle purple. That one looks like it has a slight bit of a shift, so we're going to go with this one. I'm just going to take what's on my finger and pat it on my eyelid. Waste not, want not. You know what? That's exactly what I'm going to do on the other side. Point dirtying up a brush. I'm just going to take it and just pat it on the lid. Like that. Very quick, very simple. You know, blending it on with your finger can also help amp up the shine a little bit too. I am going to take just a little bit of Ocean, which is this darker kind of an indigo blue on the kind of curvy, angled side of this double-ended BH Cosmetics brush. Once again, very sad that they no longer exist. And I want to kind of lay that just on the outer part here. A little gradient going into the darker blue. I'm going to wet my brush a little bit using my Velour spray. I'm finding I'm not getting much payoff. Just picking up the shadow alone to the brush. Alright, there we go. That's much better. Excuse me. Alright, there we go. That's much, much better. Sometimes you just have to wet the brush. It just works better that way. You know? Sometimes that's how we roll. Alright, so I think that's going to be it for these shadows. I'm going to go off camera, throw on my liner, some lashes, throw on something on my lips, and then we'll come back and we'll do our final thoughts. Alright guys, final look is done. I just did my wing using my NYX Epic Liner. And my lower waterline, I'm using one of the new Beauty Bay liners that I picked up. This is a pastel liner in Mented. Not quite as creamy as my Colourpop ones, but I have been enjoying it. It's just a really pretty minty green shade. I line my lips with one of my cream gel lip liners from Colourpop. This shade is in Jubilee. And the overall lip color is also from Colourpop. This is the Ultra Blotted Lip. This is part of the Sailor Moon collection. The shade is in Usagi. I'm also trying out a new lash glue. Here in Memphis, we have Korean-owned beauty supply stores on like every corner. And I just picked this up from my local beauty supply store. It's from Poppy and Ivy. 5D eyelash adhesive. It says it's fast drying latex. If I can find it, I will put it down in the description box below. It's $3.99 at the beauty supply store. And it's a black lash glue with a brush tip. So far, it seems to be holding pretty well. We'll see how it goes throughout the rest of the day. Now for my final thoughts on this palette. I love the whole theming with the sea turtles and the coral reef, and I love what they're doing, you know, with the different charities and different organizations, and I love the whole color story. I love the embossings. It's really, really beautiful overall, but I have to admit that I did struggle a little bit with the blue. It was a little bit patchy and I had to kind of build it up a little bit. And the shimmers also didn't go on as well as the Nomad shimmers normally do. When it comes to bright pastel shades, the Tokyo Harajuku palette, which is this one still stands out on top for me. This one is absolutely beautiful. They're bright and pigmented even though they look lighter in the pan. These shimmers are some of the most beautiful shimmers Nomad has ever made, and I do believe this palette is still available. When it comes to Nomad's pastels, this one stands on top. I find that the brighter ones in here are a little bit better than the brighter ones in the Paradise Islands palette. And as far as the blue, this is the Nomad Fire and Ice palette. The blues in this palette are absolutely stunning. This shade right here, pigmented, blends like butter. I had absolutely no issues with this one. This one did not give me the same issue that I had with this one. I don't know if it's the coconut oil, because I know the formula is slightly different than in some of the other palettes, and that might be the thing. But once again, I love the overall theming. I think the color story is beautiful. And the rest of the shades may blend beautifully. Like I said, I'm going to do 2 looks, and I'm also going to do an IG video and try to play around with some of the other ones. I may not have as much trouble with those as I did with this. We'll just have to see. Definitely keep a lookout for that. I'm going to try to have that coming up in the next couple of weeks. Once again, if you enjoyed the video, please be sure to give the video a thumbs up. Be safe, take care of yourself, and I'll see you in the next one.